It's no secret now that a British court ruled recently WikiLeaks publisher and founder Julian Assange can be extradited to the United States. Here's the thing. This poses probably the most clear and present danger to press freedom, not just in the United States, but around the world. Because the prosecution and imprisonment, or hell, even execution of Julian Assange, or if he gets assassinated before then, no doubt by the CIA, if that were to happen, that would set a dangerous precedent around the world, telling all these power-hungry authoritarian leaders and greedy capitalists who pull their chain, saying, hey, you can go ahead and kill journalists who expose you. Because that's what the U.S. government is doing right now. Julian Assange did not do anything wrong. He did nothing wrong. He published. That is what he does. He didn't hack in anything. Chelsea Manning gave him documents exposing U.S. war crimes. That is what journalism is all about. It's why we have freedom of the press. It's why we have freedom of speech. It's why we have the separation of powers. It's why the press is generally regarded as the sort of unofficial fourth branch of government. The problem here, though, is that the U.S. government, the officials within the government, let's be a little more specific, and members of the press are just way too friendly with each other. There's that revolving door again. Because in other countries, especially in like the Netherlands and New Zealand, the press really goes after politicians when they misbehave. There was that interview in New Zealand several months ago where it was Jamie Lee Ross of the Conservative Party, the National Party as it's called in New Zealand. I forget the lady's name who interviewed him, but she tore him a new asshole. She really did, and it was amazing to watch. We don't see any of that in the United States. None of it. Because the media personalities are hired so that they won't rock the boat. They're hired to cater to power, to be stenographers to people with money and power. And it's like, oh, well, I want to get on the good side of these politicians or these CEOs or these investors, these oligarchs and billionaires, whatever, so that they'll come on my show. The way it should work is that people do their thing, including public servants, including billionaires and CEOs, and if the media wants answers because they serve the public, if they do serve the public, they would call them on that show. It would almost be like a subpoena and say, why are you doing this? And they would try to get answers out of them. But no, it's just a bunch of, dick sucking and boot licking and ass kissing and all the stuff. Oh, the establishment is so wonderful. They're always right. No, they're not. Here's why. Because the people in government now are corporate goons, just like the people who own the media outlets. It's one big, incestuous corporate circle jerk. Or as George Carlin used to say, it's a big club and you ain't in it. Unfortunately for this club, they think it's all hunky-dory for them to come into our camp, take our shit for their own, and claim that we don't have any right to take it back. It's sick. It's really sick. Julian Assange did what any journalist would do, what any responsible and dedicated and honest journalist would do. He took documents from a whistleblower who was there, who saw these guys firing on first responders, civilians doing their job, helping people, firing on them, circling around, firing and killing who they missed, and then laughing about it. And our own government doesn't hold them accountable. Why? Because we're us. We're the good old US of A. Rah, rah, America. And everything we do is right. Everything we do is with good intentions. So when we violate human rights, when we kill people without cause, it doesn't matter. Because we're America. We're us. We're above everybody. This is what capitalism incentivizes. Again, I said in my last video, money brings power. Power corrupts. Absolute money, having all the money, means absolute power. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. We have the largest budget. We have the largest military, which means we have the most weapons. We have the most bloodthirsty people ready to kill. That makes us incredibly dangerous, both domestically and internationally. We're not saving anybody. We're certainly not safe here at home. We have one of the highest, in fact, murder rate per capita in the whole fucking world. And we have the audacity to go around the world telling people that they're violating human rights. And we fund 73% of the world's dictatorships. Good fucking grief. When are we going to fucking get it? Huh? When are we going to get it? If we allow Julian Assange to be prosecuted, if he is allowed to be extradited, because that is on appeal if I'm not mistaken. So the British court, I hope to God they make the right decision, because bringing him here, he is not going to get a fair trial. It is going to be a drumhead trial. It will be a shill trial. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be, he's already pronounced guilty in the eyes of the establishment. Joe Scarborough, I mean, he just went on his morning show and just lied endlessly about him. Oh, he tried to steal documents. He hacked into the database. He did this, he did that. Oh, he was some foreign spy or whatever. No, he was not a spy. He wasn't working for any foreign government. He was publishing. That's what he does. That's what WikiLeaks is. It's an investigative journalistic outlet. You know, a good example of kind of what WikiLeaks does is a lot like what the Spotlight team does for the Boston Globe. Anybody who reads the Boston Globe or lives in Boston and knows about it, or hell, who's just seen the movie Spotlight, you know, when that team was investigating the pedophilia ring in the Catholic Church. That's what WikiLeaks does. That's what they do. And that's what journalism is for. To expose crimes of powerful people. To hold elected officials accountable. To make certain the public is informed on what's going on. Not propagandized. Not simply infotained. But actually informed. Educated. But of course, because these media outlets are run by capitalist goons who want nothing more than more profit, they just give them something to try to push foot traffic in the direction of their advertisers to boost their own profits. Our media is broken. It's totally corrupted. It's totally bought and owned by moneyed interests, and we need to change that. But this is a serious danger to the First Amendment, guys. I mean, if Julian Assange gets the axe here, if he gets strung up, the freedom of the press is officially dead. Hell, Daniel Ellsberg is going to be recategorized by the establishment very likely as a traitor. But now he's regarded as a hero because he exposed the Pentagon Papers. He exposed that Vietnam soldiers were murdering innocent civilians, that they were using Agent Orange, that they were doing all these things over there that were just completely against the rules of engagement. They were violating international law and U.S. law by murdering civilians. And now he's regarded as a hero. But Julian Assange, he's doing the exact same thing here thanks to a whistleblower, to Chelsea Manning, who, by the way, spent time in prison already for what she did, but she shouldn't have. She should have had a medal pinned on her for that. And Julian Assange, he should get the fucking Nobel Peace Prize for what he's doing. Our government is totally corrupted. It's totally bought and owned by these financial interests. They're all about the money. They're all about their own power. It's all about self-aggrandizement and boasting and boot stomping and flashing themselves around the world, showing how big and bad they are. Oh my God. It's disgusting, man. We're Vikings. We're Vikings. That's what the U.S. has become. We're essentially the 21st century's version of the Vikings. What do? We claim to be all about freedom and liberty and democracy and rights and stuff like that, but then we just go overseas to other countries who have resources that we're a little short supply on, and we just take them. And we don't give a damn what happens to the people. If necessary, we mow them down. Ask the Native American communities. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. Because we did it to them too. And we should hang our heads in shame for that. America was built on maybe noble intentions in some people's minds, but the methods by which we got to where we're at now were nothing short of callous, malicious, nefarious, and indifferent to human life. We have some serious reflection to do. We've got to stand with Assange. They have to free him now. They have to stop persecuting and trying to prosecute journalists. In fact, there's been no justice for Jamal Khashoggi. The U.S. government just said, oh yeah, you murdered him, that's fine. Why? Because like Tulsi Gabbard said, we're Saudi Arabia's bitch. We suck off Saudi Arabia so hard, it's amazing we aren't getting chapped lips. Just because they get oil. And if we went to green energy, we wouldn't need their fucking oil. They'd go stick a red-hot poker up their ass for all I care if that's the case. But we depend on their oil, so we got to suck up to them. It's really sick and degrading to not just our government, but to us as a people. We didn't ask for that. We didn't want to be in that situation. We were led into that situation by people who wanted to make money. That was it. And now because this guy, Julian Assange, and WikiLeaks has exposed U.S. war crimes, he's getting the book thrown at him. And very, very likely, if he does get extradited, he ain't going to be around long. He's going to be a martyr for the free press, I'm telling you. He's going to be a casualty of war against freedom, a war on democracy, a war against a free press by the establishment, by the wealthy elites, so they can guarantee their future profits. That's really what this is all about. The U.S. government officials, they've been embarrassed because they were exposed, because they know what they did is wrong, but they don't like being embarrassed by having the truth about them exposed. And so they're just saying, hey, how dare you expose things about us? Now we're going to lock you up or execute you, whatever it is they think they want to do. That's all it is. Powerful people got their fifis hurt, and so they're going to silence this guy as a warning. Don't you dare come after us or this is going to happen to you. Well, keep in mind, fellas, there's way more people that can stand up and do this same thing than there are of these powerful people. All it takes is for us to stand up, flip that board over, and the game is up. It's going to be our world. So we need to stand with Assange. They need to release him. He needs to be properly compensated, and he needs to be vindicated for what he did, because he's a hero. And he needs to be treated that way. Free Assange now.